1.
My name is Jill Welsh, and this is my presentation on my research topic and how I came to my particular research question. So my topic is improving two-way communication with parents of English language learners. In my particular district, this means Spanish speakers mostly. So why do I want to improve two-way communication? Basically, it's because there's an opportunity gap that exists. It's well documented in the literature, obviously. My district, San Jacinto district in Southern California, is a poor district. It has lower levels of education overall, lower levels of per capita income, less owner-occupied housing. Just on basically every level, it's below the state average. And yet, 31% of students are poor, which is higher than the national average. Over 50% of residents in San Jacinto speak Spanish in the home. So our EL population is Spanish speaking. But our district has made gains. 90% of non-EL students graduate. It's pretty good for a Title I district. But EL students lag behind only 83%. So obviously the goal is 100% for both of these populations. It's a multifaceted problem. So why did I choose two-way communication? Well, I wanted to do something that was within my power to do. It is such a big issue, such a big problem, but what can I do with my personal actions in my personal classroom? So improving communication with EL parents has been shown through the research to increase communication with the teacher is key to that parent-teacher relationship, right? If we don't talk, we can't have a relationship. And promoting greater parent participation improves their students' academic outcomes. And that's the goal, to improve the student academic outcomes. Who am I? I am new to public school education. I spent a dozen years as an adjunct history professor, mostly online because I had a young child, and that worked really well. And then I started scoring the CAA-SPP, and it really brought home how inequitable the education system is where we live. Like I said, Title I district, about 30 to 40%, depending on what grade you're looking at, are meeting the expectations of the English test at the different grade levels. Contrast that with I live in between the San Jacinto district and a middle class district to the south of me, and it's just about the reverse. Almost 60% do pass the English Smarter Balanced tests. And it got me to thinking, this, why, right? And then after that, I got to think what I could do. So I'm currently teaching Latin to homeschoolers, which is just the most fun thing ever. In my credential program, I'm getting the single subject in Spanish, English, social science with the bilingual authorization. I already mentioned this, that the topic is how can I increase parental involvement in the student's education? And one piece of this is to improve the parent-teacher communication. The theoretical model that informs this study is the Hoover, Dempsey, and Sandler model of the parental involvement process, specifically level 1.5. Level 1 talks about parents' perceptions of invitations to be involved. So it got me thinking, how can I do regular invitations to communications? It has to be easy, it has to be simple, it has to be quick, it has to be regular. And so I hit on using technology. I use the remind.com app with my Latin students, parents, and I thought, well, can I create an invitation to be involved, right, per the Hoover, Dempsey, and Sandler model. If the communication that I can give to my parents is respectful, relevant, and useful to them, I figure that maybe I can get more involvement in students' academics. So thinking about that, I I thought, well, I can do a Google survey, a Google form survey. And so that's what I'm going to do. I have created a Google form survey that I'm going to send out every Friday. It's going to have the same exact questions. It's going to invite the parents to tell me what their students' week was like in basically two aspects: a health aspect, stress, getting enough sleep, and academic. Did they do their homework? For me, for other classes, did they read every night like they're supposed to? So why I want to investigate this topic is, of course, increasing two-way communication, which has been shown to increase academic output, and as well, social development is positively impacted when parents are involved. So I'm going to use regular, weekly, expected invitations to parents. Give me feedback on how their students are doing. So the resources that I used to formulate this were scholarly articles, of course. I was out of the country for the month that we were developing our literature review, so I was doing a university course in Spain, and so I used their library, but didn't have that much. Mostly this was the online National Library. Critical friends were great. My official critical friend is Brenda. She helped me a lot. We'll be talking about that in a later slide. And my unofficial critical friend was Edie, very generous with their time and suggestions. And of course, students and teachers. I really began thinking about this topic because teachers in my district told me that parents don't communicate, that, quote, they don't care. And as a homeschooling parent, I can't imagine not caring about my son's education, right? It's the duty of every parent to educate their children. And I thought, it can't be that they don't care. What could it be? So that's really what led me to this. So the resources are the teachers telling me what the problem is, and of course, constantly keeping the students as the focus. And every step of the way that I've tried to formulate this weekly invitation to communication, I tried to think about my specific students and my specific parents. I want it to be useful. I don't want it to be an exercise in futility, something that would, help me perhaps, but I want it to help the parents as well. So what is my specific research question? Will weekly invitations to communication is my specific research question. And what I'm going to hopefully draw out are four data sets. Are four data sets, specifically the survey. This is the weekly invitation by Google Forms sent out by Remind.com. Remind.com is a texting app that I can send quick messages to every single student. I can send it to individual students. I can send out forms. I can send out other documents. I can even send out little videos, pictures. It's great. I can see who has replied, who hasn't. Parents can get in touch with me instantly. It's very easy, and it works quite well. So that's my first data set, the response rate for the survey and the information, the qualitative and quantitative information that I get from the survey. The next set of data will be grades before and after the involvement in the study. Third, the LPAC proficiency level. What was it before participating in the year-long study, and what is it after? And the CAASPP, the Smarter Balance. What was it before, and what is it after the study? So this study is going to hopefully give me a lot of information. Let's look and see what's on it. So this is a little small. Hopefully you can see it. So my aha moment was that the parent invitation instrument, the Google survey, the Google form survey, it has to be quick and easy, and it should be in Spanish. So we'll go over this in the second half of the video. But basically, I want to know how the week was. I'm going to send it out every Friday afternoon. This will be regular and expected, hopefully. I will get a good response rate of parents because they're able to complete it quite quickly. I have the English translation here, but that's just for my professor so she can see it, just in case she doesn't speak Spanish. But I'm not going to have the English translation, just the Spanish.